All right, so I wanted to do a small update on the Patreon stuff. I've made some updates on Patreon that I kind of want to just highlight. So just to update people on, the goings on of the Patreon, basically. Previously, I've announced, of course, the $2 tier, which I'm super happy that 3 people actually have decided to sign up for. But I wanted to highlight 2 other tiers that I've added. I've thought a lot about, potential benefits for these and so on. And I think I may have found something that I think could be interesting, at least. Of course, time will tell. Do people actually think this is interesting, and so on? We will see, I guess. So here we have the tiers, right? So we have, of course, the $2 one already existed. To a large degree, some of these are, of course, just, it's basically for support as well, right? As in, you are obviously supporting the channel, making it easier to actually provide these things, right? I'm not gonna pretend that that's not a large part of this, right? So for $2 here, yes, you are getting, name and video credits for, let's say, produced videos, not for videos like this necessarily. This is just an announcement and so on. But and then you get Discord benefits, right? There's an area of the Discord that is gated behind these, this access basically, where you can discuss things and so on. Now the $4 tier here. Obviously, I'm saying here, you're supporting technical educational content even more. And I don't want to undersell this part, right? It is definitely a large part of it. With this one, you also get your, potentially, if you want, you can get a link essentially to your channel on my channel's about page or whatever, right? And so on. You also get, of course, the benefits you get for $2 a month. On top of that, you also get access to research and YouTube notes in an Obsidian repository. And this is the one that it took some time to get to this point. But I checked with some of the people on the Discord, and there seemed to be some level of interest in it, at least. And so I'm trying this out, right? What that means is you effectively get access to this Obsidian Vault, read-only access, obviously. And what that actually means in practice is you get access to my notes on a multitude of things. They are not only related to, that's why I'm saying research and YouTube notes, because not all of it is related to YouTube, at least yet. And so you'll get access to, things like, for example, my notes on OpenGL and so on. Notes on WebSockets here that I've started recently, and I will add more, obviously. Now, this is my main note-taking software. It's my main note-taking vault. I will not be using my personal one unless it's for, actually personal stuff. So obviously I'm not going to be putting any interesting things, that are deeply personal here. But if I'm journaling, for example, about, tech or whatever it might be, I am writing down some kind of opinion or possible script on something, and so on, I will be doing it here, right? And I have transferred notes to here because of that reason, right? This is now effectively a public vault, in the sense that the public can have access to it. But again, it's gated behind these this $4 a month tier, right? So that's what's new for that one. But again, I want to stress, obviously, $4 a month for just random access to my kind of notes and stuff. That's not kind of necessarily the point, right? You are obviously it is supporting the channel at the end of the day. Then I also added an $8 tier, which will effectively gain access to you'll get all of the other benefits, obviously, but also gain access to a Discord channel where the channel is being discussed, the future of the channel and so on. And of course you can kind of get a sense of this from the notes, but not really. You'll also gain access to update posts on Patreon about the channel, what's planned for the future of the channel. And I will also be taking, input from $8 tier members for the purposes of, it's somewhat of an insider kind of thing there, right? Where, because these people know more about the future of the channel, they may have opinions on that. They may actually have, because they have more insight based on, having more exposure to what's going on behind the scenes and so on. So yeah, that's the plan. I think the $4 tier, I'm interested to see how it plays out. And I think that this could be very high value potentially. Because again, this is my main note-taking space. It's the thing I take notes in, period, right? And you don't only get just notes on those things. There is also actually stuff like design notes, not only on tech stuff, right? The game dev design notes and so on that come into it and so on. And I put lots of things in here. I will be putting much more even. Just stuff relating to all kinds of projects and so on. So I think it could be potentially interesting to have this, certainly. To some extent, I think it can actually help even in something like, I want to kind of have one place that talks about all of the resources that I need for this, for learning this particular thing, for example. So for example, with OpenGL and so on, you have links and resources. You have this kind of, these notes that were taken in order to just sort of, I need to remember this stuff better. So let's just write down all of the stuff, right? Let's write down the concept behind OpenGL and its interface, for example, and stuff like this, right? So I think this could be potentially useful. I will be starting one set of notes on Vulkan, because I'll very likely be effectively writing some code to abstract some of that and so on, is the idea. So I'll be going over that and sort of moving through that and writing down notes and so on in order to better assimilate it. And my hope is that with access to those notes, you could effectively kind of get the same view on those things and so on. So anyway, those are the tiers. I would love it if people signed up. Again, I'm not expecting anything here, but it is nice to see definitely 3 members here. And I think, it's much more than I would have expected, right? So shout out to Fast F Sharp, shout out to your boys here, and also Sergey, who have signed up here. So anyway, that's it for this one. I just wanted to put that out there so people are kind of aware and so on. And I hope that people sign up, of course. So yeah, have a nice day and ciao.